Past life in the Titanic story time. You're going to want to watch this one. Now, this is a reminder that most of you have not had a past life in the Titanic, and if you're excited about it and connected to it, it might be for other reasons. Though, there are plenty of you who have had past lives in the Titanic. It's just not everybody. We can't all have been on there, right? So anyways, out of the 1,000 of past life regressions that I've done, I've had 2 people who've been on that boat. Here's the story time for the first one. So this first person, she actually did not feel like she had any connection to the Titanic pre-doing this session. In fact, she always felt repulsed by it. She didn't really want to have a connection to it. She stayed away from the movie. She didn't want to be involved. And so her experience was really interesting because typically what we find is people are really connected to the thing that they've had a past life with. But there's a reason why, so stick with me. We saw her walking onto the boat. She was obviously very rich. She was all decked out in really expensive clothing. She was on the nicer parts of the boat. She got to interact with really influential people. And as she was doing it, it was like she was dead inside. Like she just didn't want to be there. She didn't want a connection to this. She was sort of escaping. And this boat was like her ticket out of this miserable life. She wanted no part of any of this. When the boat started to go down, she was immediately granted a seat on one of the first lifeboats. She got on. There was barely anybody on the lifeboat. And as anybody who's seen the movie goes, you know that there was not enough lifeboats for the number of people. And so as her little lifeboat was rowing away from the gigantic Titanic, she felt immediate remorse, sadness, guilt, like intense survivor's guilt. Because she felt like a jerk for being able to have escaped without any kind of effort, without having to do anything, without even having a strong will to live, while there were so many people who were on board who were fighting for their survival. That is the reason why, leading up to this past life regression, she had no attachment to the Titanic. She wanted to distance herself, or at least her shadow wanted to distance itself from this horrible memory of having the survivor's guilt and feeling like she didn't know how to resolve that. So through our work together, we worked to heal it and to see how it created a ripple effect in her current life of distancing herself from getting close to people, from distancing herself from situations where she might end up feeling like she could feel guilty or ashamed in any kind of way. So hopefully now, after healing this wound, she can actually enjoy Titanic and have a connection to it, knowing that we completely healed that past life and have allowed it to alter itself within her nervous system, within her mind, body, and energy, that she's no longer attached to that past life trauma. I have one more story from the Titanic, from a past life regression that I've done. So if you want to hear it, let me know below.